My father didn't even look up when he said it. That was the part that cut the deepest. Just a flick of his wrist, a bored wave, and then the words that cracked something ancient inside me. "Wilready went last week," he said, scrolling through his phone. "Only for family." The room hummed with a quiet whir of the ceiling fan. My throat tightened and I felt the heat of the betrayal before I could even name it. The $36,000, it wired the money I'd taken extra shifts for. The money I'd saved by skipping meals and vacations of my own had already been spent on a trip I wasn't heaven invited to. And still he smirked. That smirk was the moment the floor inside me snapped and something colder, sharper took its place. I didn't say a word. Not yet. Because even then, underneath the rage pulsing behind my ribs, a plan had already begun to breathe, and it would not be kind. I remember thinking, this is the moment he loses me. But he didn't realize it. Not then, not ever. He was still laughing when I decided exactly how the story would end. I used to think loyalty meant bending until your spine learned the shape of someone else's expectations. My father taught me that growing up. It carried his burdens like a second backpack. Paid bills he forgot to mention. Covered emergencies that were never emergencies. Only cycles off carelessness. Every sacrifice I made was labeled what family does. And I believed him. I believed him when he said he needed help. When he insisted I was the responsible one. When he told relatives that he'd raised me right, as if stability were his achievement instead of my rebellion against his chaos. Even as an adult, I kept paying rent, utilities, repairs, debts he created, but somehow convinced everyone were mine to solve. Gratitude had slowly mutated into entitlement, and entitlement into expectation. And I played the beautiful child soul that even I forgot it was a performance until the vacation. The $36,000 was supposed to be the first good memory we all had in years. My gift, my attempt at rewriting us. But when my father leaned back in his chair, eyes gleaming with that triumphant pettiness, and said, "Only for family," he didn't just draw a line. He buried a knife in it. He said it like I wasn't blood. Like I wasn't the one keeping the lights on, the roof above them, the ground from collapsing. My siblings avoided my eyes. My mother inhaled slow and guilty. No one defended me, and something inside me, something patient, tired, and deeply human finally died. I didn't argue, didn't demand explanations, apologies, or repayment. People like my father weaponized volume.so. I chose silence, the one language he'd never learned to interpret. For 2 months, I watched, documented every transfer I had made, every receipt, every message where he asked for just a little help this month, or I'll pay you back when things settle. I spoke less, listened more, studied the shape of his financial dependence like a blueprint that he thought I was sulking, but I was constructing the one thing he never expected, boundaries with teeth. Step 1. I called the landlord and removed me name as emergency payer. I explained that all future payments must come directly from the tenant, my father. Step 2. I shut down the automatic transfers I had set up years ago, theons he never thanked me for because he had mistaken them for nature like sunlight or air. Step 3. I gathered the documentation I'd been compiling, neat, chronological, unarguable, evidence of every dollar I'd covered. Step 4. I waited. No theatrics, no warnings. Justice doesn't always arrive with sirens. Sometimes it walks in quietly, disguised as a missed payment. The call came exactly 2 months after his smirk. "The rent is overdue." He barked. "Did you send the money yet?" His tone held the same expectation he'd used my entire life. I almost smiled. "Only for family," I said, matching his cadence, his smirk, his cruelty, but with a precision he could never master, remember? Silence, then confusion, then panic blooming through the phone like static. He sputtered something about responsibility, about how he thought we were in this together, about how I was abandoning him. I let him talk, let him crumble under the weight of a reality where I no longer cushioned his consequences. Then I delivered the final line. "I didn't abandon you. You released me." My mother whispered my name in the background, but her guilt was hers, Tokari, not mine. For the first time, my father had to face a world where my labor didn't shield him, where his actions cost him something real, and I eiffled nothing but clarity. Some betrayals set you free. Some lessons cost $36,000, but the return on investment is peace. Family is not defined by blood, but by reciprocity, by respect, by the absence of smirks when someone hands you their heart. My father taught me what loyalty is not, and in doing so, he taught me how to reclaim mine. The last thing I told him still echoes in my mind, steady and unshakable. When you treat someone like they're nothing, don't be surprised when they finally act like you're no one. And that is how I walked away. Not angry, not broken, but finally whole.